Let's get it.
Christine and I took the real estate test today, and one of us passed and one of us failed.
On the clip that we just watched, there's a point where Christine had failed and everybody was trying to make a little light of the situation. Christine had tried to call Meri and Kody in Mexico, and she had to keep screaming out that she failed the test over and over and over again to try to get it through to them, because for some reason these kind folks couldn't understand what she was doing. Put the phone to your head. If you can't hear, put the phone to your head and try to listen to what she's saying. She's trying to tell you that she didn't do well on the test and she's embarrassed about it, but you keep making her repeat it. Okay, that's fine. But I want to say to her or anybody in a like situation, congratulations, you failed. Congratulations, you failed. See, when you fail, that means you actually tried to do something that you couldn't do. You tried to do something. So I applaud the effort. Now, I don't applaud the effort just because you tried, you failed, and you stopped. That's ridiculous. I applaud the effort because you took yourself out of your comfort zone and tried to do something that you were not sure about. You're trying to stretch yourself out. And now, in order for you to grow as a person and an individual, you have to stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone. You can't grow and be comfortable at the same time. Change is the most uncomfortable thing you can do. It's the most difficult thing you can try. And when people try to change and they try to become something different, they try to become more than what they were before, there is an innate fear of failure. There's a fear that you're not going to rise up. There's a fear that you're not going to be perfect on the first outing, or that at some point later you're not going to be as successful as you hope to be. But I think that that fear is what stymies so many people and keeps you in a position that you don't want to be in, a place where you don't want to be. That fear. And what is fear? As many of the motivational speakers and folks from YouTube, and even before YouTube, Toastmasters in different places, would say, fear is false evidence appearing real. It's things that you imagine to be true that have no substance and no proof, because you haven't done it yet, but you're afraid of it. It paralyzes you and keeps you from trying. And that's the whole gimmick of it. Fear can save your life. I'm not saying that fear in and of itself is a terrible thing and should always be avoided. But when you are fearful and that fear stops you from trying, then you place yourself in a position where you become trapped. You capture yourself and imprison yourself in your own fear. How many people are stuck in jobs that they don't want to be in? They start a job and it's a safe job and they're only going to work it for a little bit until they get these other things in line. And once everything is perfect, they're going to quit this job and pursue their dreams. And then what happens? You stay at that job for months longer than you wish, years longer than you wish, and you wind up retiring from that job that you hate. All because you're afraid to try something. You're afraid of that failure that will happen if you step out of that place that you're used to being in, that place that's comfortable. The whole thing is that you can place yourself in a position where you won't grow, you can't grow, and you handicap yourself to the point where you can't grow beyond where you are. If you get stuck in a relationship, how many people are in relationships that they don't want to be in because they're afraid that if they let this relationship go, they won't ever find anybody just as good or people who will make them happy. So they stay in a situation that makes them wholly unhappy. Sad to the point where they cry every morning. Their stomach hurts when they get up and they think about their lives and where they are. But they can't find the courage to let that go and then try to seek something else. And this is the part of the danger of what happens to people. The ease of being comfortable is what kills us. Comfort kills us. Because once we get comfortable and we stop growing and we stop trying, then we lose a lot of the things that drive us. When you look at kids have so much hope and the things that they want to do. But as we get older, we beat that wonder and that mystery and that ambition for life. We kill it slowly. And then every day we kill it a little bit more. with reasonable expectations, being reasonable. And these are things that we use to break ourselves. We break ourselves. And then we become trapped and we don't learn to try anymore, because trying is dangerous. You might fail, you might not succeed. And when you look at fear and you look at the act of being scared, these are all things that are self-imposed. These are things that you do to yourself. Nobody else can make you afraid. You make you afraid. So everything that you lock yourself into doing, you're doing to you. And by you doing that to you, you become the key holder. You become the person who can set yourself free. So not only are you the person who locked yourself up, but you are the only person who can let you go. And I would invite everybody to let themselves go and try things that maybe you've never tried before. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to stretch yourself out. You conquer fear, quantify the fear. If you try this and it doesn't work, what's the worst thing that can happen? You go for that dream job, you say, hey, they have a manager's position, a supervisor's position, a position for CEO. I put in for the application. Hey, I fill out the application, I put in for the job. They look at it and they say no. What happened? What happened to me? Nothing. Nothing has changed in my life. If I go for something and I don't get it, or I try something and it doesn't work, I'm in the same position I was when I first started. There's nothing that changed for me. So quantify what the loss or the failure means. 9 times out of 10, there is no change. The only thing that can change is you being successful at the thing that you try to do. And that's how you change your life. There's a great speaker who used to talk all the time. I used to listen to him. And he had this one phrase where he would say, it's not over until I win. It doesn't have to be over. You try something and you fail, then you try it again, and you keep trying until you're successful at doing the thing that you want to do. You keep going until you reach your goal. And that's what it's about. My mom used to say all the time, my mom and my dad used to tell us all the time, me and my brother, the only thing that beats a failure is a try. The only thing that beats a fail is a try. If you don't try, then you've already failed. And that guarantees your failure. But if you keep trying and you say it's not over, I'm going to keep coming back, I'm going to keep showing up. If I can look up, I'm going to get up and I'm going to keep swinging. Then you get up off the ground and you keep going. Everybody gets knocked down. If you look at the most successful people, especially even in modern day, you look at the most successful people, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs. These are all people who have been fired off of their jobs. The thing that they became most noted for and became obscenely wealthy for, they've been fired from those jobs. They've lost everything. They've been in situations where they lost everything and they kept going. And that's why I'm able to rattle their names off, because they kept going. If they stopped or they were too afraid to try, when Oprah got let go from that little rinky-dink broadcasting show she was on, and she said, okay, I don't want to try anymore. I don't want to go out and try to put my name on nothing. I don't want to host a show. She wouldn't be the person who could basically shut down the industry with an offhand comment. She never would have reached those levels. So in order for us to reach those levels, we have to do those things. In order for you to get the things that you haven't been getting, if you're tired of living the life that you've been living, then you have to stop doing the things that you've been doing. If you want something different, you have to start doing something different. You have to become something different. You can't keep doing the same thing expecting different outcomes. You also have to think about bad company. Look at the company you keep. The power of association. If you associate yourself with a bunch of people who are not looking out for your best interest, people who don't understand what it is you're trying to do or where you're trying to go, then they're not going to be able to support you in the ways that you need. One of the things that I noticed when I was watching that episode, especially when Christine was trying to relate to these people that she did not pass the test, she wasn't in a safe place emotionally where she could try her best and keep trying and keep going. She put herself in a situation where the only person who was about that life and about that work was Janelle. All 5 of them had started out. Meri, Christine, Robyn, Janelle, and Kody. all went to the first meeting where they were talking about, hey, we want to become real estate agents because it'll fit with our lifestyle. Then they started realizing it would actually be work. And they started dropping off, sloughing off. And by the time it was all done, the only two people left standing was Janelle and Christine. And they didn't have that support system where people were saying, okay, you didn't do well. Let's get back in. Let's get to studying. We're going to take it again. They didn't have that. If most of your friends are telling you that it's not worth it, why try? Why keep going? Why keep putting yourself out like that? Why leave that relationship? Why leave that job? Then you're going to stay right where you are. So you do have to look to your left and look to your right and see who you have surrounding you and find people and places where it's safe for you to fail. And more importantly, it's safe for you to try. The last thing I would say is don't be afraid to try shit. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there and try to reach those goals. You're going to be uncomfortable because change is uncomfortable. But don't be afraid of that change. Don't be afraid of that pain, because through that pain, you're going to grow. Through that failure, you're going to build knowledge. One of the things that I've always noticed about life is I don't remember all the times I've won, but I remember distinctly the times I've had some big losses. And I've learned from those times. So you can learn from you learn more from your fails than you do from your successes, because those fails ride on you a little harder. And if you can take the knowledge from those fails, when you finally do succeed, there is nothing like that. When you have a challenge that you're trying to meet and you keep failing, you keep failing, you keep failing, when you finally do succeed and you finally do win, it's the best feeling in the world. While you're failing, it sucks. But when you win, there's nothing like it. My name is James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.